Today I'm taking my homegrown peppers and turning them into chili powder. Hi everybody, thanks so much for stopping by the homestead. My name is Sarah from Living Traditions Homestead, and I'm so glad that you've decided to join me today because all summer long I babied my pepper plants so that I could get them to a nice size and dehydrate them so that I could make my own homemade chili powder. It was kind of intimidating for me initially when I was looking into different recipes and how do you do it, and there aren't a whole lot of instructions and recipes out there that start with whole dry peppers. A lot of them just take seasonings and things from the store that are already ground up and everything, and then you just put them together in a bowl and make your chili powder, and that's fine, but I've spent a lot of time and effort growing my own peppers that I wanted to find a way to use them in my chili powder. So I do want to tell you though, I want to demystify chili powder making with your whole peppers. You know, I've found a bunch of different recipes, and what I've realized is that there's not one thing to use. There's not one kind of pepper, there's no special combination. Really, the peppers that you want to try and that you can grow in your garden and that you enjoy, use them. And, you know, no specific proportions of one kind to another. Just start trying it, use it in your cooking, and then make modifications after that. So today I'm going to be using, like I said, my homegrown peppers. I grew a lot of poblano peppers this year on purpose to dry them. Dried poblano peppers are actually called ancho chilies, or anchos. So that's what I have here. I also grew a lot of the sheep nose pimento. It's a sweet pepper, and it's actually the pepper I'm going to be using to make sweet paprika. So I'm going to actually use some of that in my chili powder. And because these are sweet and don't have any kick at all, and because the anchos are really only, mildly spicy, I'm also going to throw in a couple of my homegrown cayenne peppers to kick it up a notch. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is count out how many we're going to be using, and I'm just kind of making it up this time and figuring out what tastes good for our family. So we're going to take these out. I'm going to use 5 of my ancho chilies, or my dried poblano peppers. I'm going to use 5 total of my sheep nose pimentos. Now I dried them in half. I cut them in half, so I'm actually going to be taking 10 of these out. But there'll be, 5 total peppers. And then I'm going to be using 2 cayenne peppers. So I need to get them out, make sure I have what I need, and then we need to take out the stem, and we need to take out the seeds. Now, you might be thinking, hey, if you keep the seeds in, then it might be a little bit spicier, but the seeds, when you grind them up, can be bitter. So I'm going to be taking them out. Now, I want to let you know that I did a video on how to dry your peppers whole. So I didn't have a whole lot of time this summer to be dicing and stemming and seeding all of these. So I did a video, and I'll put a link up here that you can watch that, how I dehydrated these whole, and it saved me a ton of time. So I'm looking through here, and I'm going to pick out some that are of good size. I've got a couple that are small. These are the ancho chilies, and I'm going to take out some that are pretty good size. Like I said, I'm going to use 5 of these guys. Let me see if maybe there's... I'm gonna do some comparison shopping here. That one looks better than that one. Ooh, that one looks nice. Okay, so that one looks better than that one. Okay. Enough of me being picky. Okay, so those are the poblanos, which are ancho chilies. And these are the sheep nose pimentos. I'm going to take out 10 of these because they're in halves. And they're beautiful. They're a nice, beautiful red color. Two, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I have those. And now I'm going to take out 2 nice-sized cayenne peppers. Okay, there you go. Those are the peppers I'm going to be using to make my homemade chili powder. Now, if you have any hesitation at all about the hotness getting on your hands and that kind of thing, I suggest that you wear some gloves, rubber gloves or latex or whatever, but I'm not super worried about it. So I got my kitchen scissors, and I'm just going to cut off the stem here. And I'm going to try to shake these out of this pepper, and it's not happening. So I'm going to cut it in half and probably pick out the pepper parts. Now this cayenne pepper is probably going to be a little bit, I don't know, harder to work with because the skins on them, or the meat, it's really thin. So it's going to be a little bit more labor intensive. But like these sheep-nosed pimentos, this isn't going to be very hard. With my fingernail, I can just, pick out the seeds. And I'm going to just cut these in smaller pieces. What we're going to be doing after this is we're going to be toasting them on a pan, in a dry pan on the stove. So I'm just going to cut these in like little squares, not too small. And then when we're all done with this, we'll transfer them into the pan. Let me do one of the ancho chilies just to get an idea of how that's going to be. These are really nice and dry. Oh, the seeds are right in there. I might be able to just break this. Now, if you are not growing your own, and if you have access to either like an international grocery store or a grocery store that has a lot of nice ethnic foods, sometimes you can find in the like Hispanic or Mexican aisle, you can find these in bags, and you can just buy all kinds of dried peppers and make your own that way if you're not growing them yourself. Here in Missouri, in rural Missouri where we're at, our stores don't have that, so I'm growing my own. We did in the Phoenix area, and I missed that. Okay, so I'm going to just keep doing this. I'm going to cut them up and get them ready for the pan. I'm taking out the stems and taking out the seeds. Okay, so I have them all cut up, and the seeds are out and stuff like that, and this is what it looks like in the pan. Now, I want to go back to something that I said about 45 seconds ago. Remember when I said, oh, if you're sensitive to hot things, you should wear gloves, but I'm not going to worry about it. Well, my hands are on fire, and I was dumb. So take my advice and wear the gloves. They're on fire, and I thought, oh, is that really the oil of the pepper? Yeah. And it burned so much that it was like I was coughing. It might have been from the cayenne peppers, but holy cow. Okay, so I'm going to put this on the stove top. We're going to put it at like a medium-high heat, and we're going to stir it constantly, but we're going to toast these for about 5 minutes. Don't burn them. Stay right there and stir them all the time. Now, I don't have any oil or anything in this pan. It is a cast iron pan, but we're going to toast these in a dry pan. Okay, here we go. I have this on about a 4, and 3 would be medium on my stove. So we're just going to constantly stir these around. We're toasting them. Basically, we're just warming up the oils and waking them up a little bit. So we're going to do this, like I said, for 5 minutes, stirring constantly. And then we'll be ready to blend them up into powder. Okay, they're all done toasting, and they look fantastic, they smell fantastic, but I've taken them off the pan to make sure that they don't cook anymore, and I put them on a plate, and I'm spreading them out so that they cool. We don't want to put these in the blender and blend them up when they're still hot, because they're still kind of rubbery, and you're going to end up having a terrible time and a terrible mess. So we're just going to let these hang out here on the plate for a little bit until they cool and until they're nice and crispy again. Well, here we go. The fun part and the loud part and the nerve-wracking part. I'm just going to put these in here. Hopefully I don't get them all over the place. Now this is just your standard blender. I don't have a spice blender or one of those little fancy coffee grinders or whatever, but many people online have successfully done this with just a blender, so that's what I'm going for. Now also, you know, this is homemade. You don't have to have it so perfect. It's gonna work in your chili regardless of the size of the particles. Okay, so this is my blender. Put the top on my blender now. You know, full disclosure, I lost this part, so I'm making it work with a little round glass bowl. So you do what you gotta do. Okay, so we're gonna get started. Now I really want to peek, but it says online to like not open this until it like all settles. Otherwise, like a big like plume of pepper dust will go everywhere and you'll be coughing, it'll be in your eyes. But I can see through there a little bit that I think it could use a little bit more. Gosh, this is exciting. I think it's good. I think it's good. I'm gonna wait just a little bit longer before opening it, but oh, I'm excited. This is gonna be good. I'm gonna leave this here while I get my bowl because we've got other things to be mixing into this chili powder mixture. We can get those started while this all rests. Hey, it looks pretty good. There's a couple little, you know, pieces that are bigger than normal chili powder, but you know, if it's a real big deal to you, you could always put this through a really fine sieve and like, you know, pat on it so that the really thin stuff comes out and the bigger chunks are on top, you know. So I'm just gonna pour this in here. Woo! Now I know we started with basically 10-ish peppers, and you know that's not going to amount to a whole lot, but I'm excited about what's in here. There's a little stuck on the bottom. I'm going to get a butter knife and see if I can, ooh yeah, coax that out. Hey, that was like more than a tablespoon stuck in there. I'm glad I did that. Okay, but that's good enough because we need to move on. Okay, so this isn't it. This just isn't chili powder. We're going to add some more things. So we are going to add 2 tablespoons of garlic powder. Let's see. I've got some cumin here. I'm almost running out of cumin. I need 1 tablespoon. It's on my grocery list already. Hopefully we can make it. Woo, yes. And a little bit more to spare. Okay, we're going to do 1 tablespoon of oregano. This is oregano that I grew, and it's still like in big leaf form. So I'm going to kind of crush it up like this. I'm going to do that twice. I'm not worried about accurate measurements. Okay, so that's that. And the last thing that we're going to add is 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika. Now, if I were planning properly over the summer when I was drying my sheep-nosed pimentos, I could have smoked dried these and then have my own smoked paprika, but things got busy and I forgot, and it's just on the to-do list for next year. So 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, okay? And that's it. We're going to mix it up. You know, what you could do is you could have put all of these things in like a mason jar, a pint-sized mason jar, and then you could just shake it up. I'm going to end up storing this in a mason jar, so I probably could have just saved myself some energy and done that, but oh my gosh, you guys, it looks beautiful. Look at how gorgeous this is. Yes, it has some bigger pieces of oregano, but it's homemade. You know, I don't need anybody to think that this is from the store. I made it and I'm proud of it. Okay? All right. So we are going to be trying out our homemade chili powder using our homegrown dried chilies in a chili for dinner tonight. We are making black bean and pumpkin chili, and we'll use the chili powder that I just made, and we'll let you know how it tastes. Okay, it is time to test the chili powder, the homemade chili powder. So I made some black bean and pumpkin chili, and I used quite a bit of the chili powder. Well, it's really hot, so you need more than that. It's really hot. Careful. Oh, stop it!
I'm just kidding. It's awesome.
It's really good. It's not very spicy, which the kids will appreciate.
Right. You can always add more spice, you know, when you're cooking. No, it's really good.
I think if I made it for you and I, just you and I think I would triple the amount of cayenne peppers.
Right.
Maybe back off some of the like sweet peppers, the sheep-nosed pimento, sheep-nosed pimento, and maybe even add some more of the dried poblanos or the anchos. But it's really good. The flavor is amazing.
This is how in love we are. Every night we eat our dinner out of the same bowl.
Sure, right. Anyway, you guys, so there you go. I want you to feel encouraged about this and for you to try this. Even if you're not growing your own peppers and dehydrating them, go to the store and get some dried peppers.
Yeah.
Grind them up and try this. And then if you find out which peppers you like because you've already bought them from the store, you can start growing them yourself and dry them and grind them up for your own homemade chili powder. We use a ton of chili powder on our homestead. I make chili a lot and I put it in a lot of other things. So this is going to be an awesome addition to our homestead. I'm not buying it from the store anymore.
Right. This will probably help us decide what to grow next year.
Oh, absolutely. There are a couple peppers that I had tried to grow last summer that didn't work, and I'm going to try them again so I even have more variety in my chili powder. But this is super exciting. I hope that you try it. You guys, thanks so much for stopping by and coming along on my journey making chili powder. Before you go, if you're not a subscriber, if you'll go ahead and hit the subscribe button below, we would really appreciate it. We have a ton of things coming up. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. And if you have questions or stuff or things, go ahead and put it in the comment section below. Until next time, you guys, take care and God bless.
God bless.